Hey everybody, it's me, it's Melissa, your oily groomer. We are making DIY soaps tonight, and there seems to be a gnat in my kitchen. So first I want to preface everything with everything that I do here is my own creation, is my own opinion, and so it's never a substitute for seeking the advice of a physician or a veterinarian. So take what I say as just my opinion. You're free to make your own choices. So with that said, tonight we are going to make a couple of cold press melt and pour soaps, and we're also going to do a DIY laundry soap that I want to make sure that we kind of talk about soap in itself. When we make this laundry soap, it's going to be good for light laundry. It's not going to be great for super heavy duty stuff because it's not a detergent. It is a soap, and chemically the two of them are very different. And since we only have an hour's worth of time, and I got started a little late tonight, we won't go into all the chemistry of the difference between detergents and soaps, but if you Google it, you can read about it. And what I recommend for the soap, especially if you had made the laundry booster last week with me, this is a good companion to the booster. So we're going to start with that. And yeah.
A quick question. When you say light, like the soap versus detergent, do you mean like you could wash a blanket in detergent, but you couldn't wash a blanket in the soap?
No,
like
you can wash anything in this, but it's not if it's heavily soiled.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And I'm going to give you an alternative to this soap once we create this powder soap. Okay, so we're going to get started, and we're going to use some of the Mule Team borax. So we're doing let's see. Going to do a cup of the borax, and this is super inexpensive. The reason being that soap is different than detergent, because detergents are basically chemical based that are created to work in our high efficiency washing machines nowadays. Soaps were made for the old-fashioned washing machines and washboard washing. Remember those old wooden washboards that you used to have to scrub? Well, now they create the detergent to do all the, to gather up all the dirt in the wash with very little agitation, and it's very gentle on our clothing. Where years ago it was very hard on our clothing because they would pound it against the sides of the rocks. So we're going to do 1 cup of the borax, and all this stuff can be found at your local grocery store. Everybody knows I shop 2 places, Target and Walmart. So that's where most of my stuff comes from for my DIY. So we have the cup of the borax, and then, sorry, I'm old and I have to check my list. We're going to do a cup of the washing soda, which is the Arm & Hammer, and it says laundry booster on it, so it's a super washing soda. We're going to do a cup of this. I'm going to pour this in here. We got 1 cup of that, and then we have let me scooch this out of the way because it's not going back in the way I want it to. We have the soap flakes. Now you can come closer. If you have handmade soaps, any of your handmade soaps, you can use these and grate them, even if they have herbs in them, even if they're fancies. You can use those and grate them up and make a cup of the soap from that, or you can use the super washing soda. It's up to you. I'm sorry, not the super washing soda. This is box soap. This is Zote, which is very similar to ivory. But it's easier because if you don't feel like playing with grating up all your soap, this comes like this. It's already flaked. So, and we're gonna do a cup of flaked soap. Or you can get, if you can get the ivory, but these are soap flakes. This does have fragrance in it, so if you want to do your own and make your own soaps, when you make the cold press, the melt and pour, you can grate those up or cut them down or put them in a food processor, which works great too. So we're going to put our 1 cup in here, and then I'm going to put, let's see, we have that. There are additional things you can put in here. So now we have all that in there. I think we can put a little baking soda too. Let's see, a cup of the washing. Yeah, a 1/4 cup of baking soda. So, a 1/4 cup. I have ginormous baking soda. So, we're going to get a 1/4 cup of the baking soda. Level it off there. Put that in there. Get this out of the way. I told you I use this all the time. So, and then I like to put a little bit of Epsom salt. This is 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt. So you can. And again, you can adjust this recipe if you made the laundry booster because it has some of these ingredients in it also. You can use the soaps that you make from the cold press soaps. You can also add an oxygen booster, which is, if you Google it or look on Amazon, you'll be able to find some really good natural oxygen boosters that you could add to this. They're powder form. And obviously you can add a 1/2 cup of white vinegar to your rinse cycle, and that will make a difference as well if you're really going for the Donna Reed Award of the Year and the Happy Homemaker. I'm lucky if I even remember that it sat in the dryer for the washer for 2 days before I even get it in the dryer. So we are going to use some essential oils in here. Any of the oils that come in the Young Living kit will be able to be used in this. It's up to you what you want out of it. I'm going to use just 3 of the set of the oils that do come with the kit, and I'm going to use 4 drops of frankincense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of our thieves, which I love. Anybody that knows me knows that I love that. And then 4 drops of purification. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and these all come in your kit. If you get a Young Living kit, you will get a whole set of oils that you can use for millions of different recipes. So you're going to take a whisk, and it's a good idea to use stuff that you don't often use for food. Keep your craft stuff separate. You don't want to mix this with your hands because borax can be really drying. Borax is great standalone product even for boosting if you use a regular detergent from your grocery store. So we're going to mix this, and then we're going to pour it in my laundry soap container, and that's it. This is done. You're going to use about a cup to your wash, and because it's in powder form and these little soap flakes have to dissolve, it's always a good idea to put them in first before you put your clothes in. don't put your laundry soap on top of your clothing or your towels or whatever you're washing. It's good to throw it in the bottom of the washer and then let some water fill in the washer and then add your clothes to it. So then we're gonna put this in my laundry soap container, and you want a container, sorry, old groomer hands, not as steady as they used to be. You want to make sure you have an airtight container. That's really important. And then you'll just throw a little scoop in there. And generally, I would go with like about a half cup. Experiment. See what works for you. You can add a little more soap flakes if you think it needs a little more boost to cleaning. There you go. You can obviously double or triple that recipe. And I will post the recipe on the event page so that you have it, so that if you didn't make it with me tonight or if I went too quickly for you, you can follow it and go back over it. So here's our soap. Here's our laundry soap. Frankincense, thieves, purification, soap flakes, which you can choose your soap flakes. Put it in your glass container, throw a little scoop in there, and you're good to go for your laundry. Now, those of you that have not been to my other class, or any of my classes for that matter, whether it's, because this is only my second Facebook Live class, I am a representative for Young Living. Let me move my little duckies over here. I am a distributor for Young Living oils. Those are the oils that I use for all my DIY projects. It's my personal preference. I love them. I feel as though they are the highest quality oils that are available to me. So if you're interested in getting a kit, you can do so. Visit my website, theoilygroomer.com, and there's links on there for that. Anybody that does order a kit from this class tonight, I will be giving away some nutmeg and some ginger oils. These are great for upcoming fall. All those wonderful diffuser recipes that will make your house smell like fall. So you can always, if you have questions about how to get a kit or what comes in the kit or why you should get a kit, shoot me an email, a text, a PM on Facebook, and I'll be happy to get you going. So next is what everybody's been waiting for. That's why I did that soap first. The melt and pour soaps are super simple. They're great to do with kids because there's nothing there that they're going to get sick from and touching. These are cold processed, but they're already produced with the lye, the chemical transactions that have to take place to create soap have already been created. So when we do, let me get my bars over here so you can see. So when we do melt and pour, they come in a variety of different ways. Let me grab these. They come in blocks like this. This one's already been sliced. This is my honey. This is shea butter. These are glycerin. Here's another shea on the bottom. You can get lots of different kinds. I also have these blocks are melt and pour, and these are hemp. So they all contain glycerin. Glycerin is a natural byproduct of the creation of soap. So when soap is made, glycerin is created. These are all organic. These are all vegan based. So they're made from vegetable fats. So technically these are a Castile soap. They're just a bar. No matter what kind it is. And then you can use liquid soap. And we will do a little liquid soap also, but I'm going to show you. For liquid soaps, there's lots of different Castile soaps that you can grab at your local grocery store, pharmacy, whatnot. So you have, this one's from Shea Moisture. This is the coconut Castile soap. If you look, this has a little C. This one is pure Castile soap. This one's the Dr. Bonner's. This is hemp peppermint. If it was any bigger, it'd bite me in the face. This is the hemp peppermint. So this one already has essential oils. This does not. This one is the Equate, so that's the Walmart brand. And this is the lavender pure Castile soap. This one is, this one's coconut, olive, hemp, and jojoba. And I've used this one, and it's really good. I use it to shower with almost every single day as my liquid soap. So you have a choice. Dr. Bonner's, these also come in bars as well. So these are what this is, just in a liquid form. So, and we'll mess with these in a few. So we are going to do some melt and pour soaps. So, if you come closer, John. There's lots of stuff you can do with melt and pour soaps, and that's why I put out so many of my soaps. So these are my my peppermint salt scrub bars. They smell like, oh my gosh, they smell like a candy cane. This is goat's milk, which is very nourishing for your skin. The salt is a great exfoliator, and the peppermint, of course, is refreshing. It's amazing for your skin in a million different ways. Here's another peppermint goat's milk bar, and this is a layered bar. And then I have tons of different bars here. These ones have orange rind. So they have a little bit of orange rind to give them a little bit of exfoliating power. These are rose. Just my little fancy rose bars. These are shea butter and regular glycerin, or actually, I'm sorry, it's honey and lavender. And you could see the little lavender in there. These are rose. And this is a thin slice, so you could see. I use the goat's milk in the inside, or shea butter, it just depends. A lot of times when I have leftovers, I use them as what I call floats inside the soap. But these are all the rose petals. These are the little paw prints that I made. They're hard to kind of see the little pads, but they're made with calendula and honey. And there is shea or goat's milk in there as well. And then I'll show you when I have extra left over, like when I get down and I don't have enough to do anything really with, I keep them in little baggies, and then I use them as floats. I'll cut them into cubes, or like those I cut into shape, like a long, skinny, stringy shape. Sometimes I'll melt them down and make these kind of floats out of them. And these are shaped floats. Of course, these are all dogs, different kinds of. Here's a little poodle, and you can see. So they're all animal shaped, all different kind of dogs. So these I would set inside of a molding soap, so that way they just kind of sit on the inside. Obviously, I'd put them in a clear base soap instead of a solid base soap, because you'd never see them in there. Now you can also do, which I made some ahead of time, fun floats, which Like, you want to see these? These are buttons. And I get them at Walmart, and I usually get them on sale. Sometimes the Target has them as well. You can see the back. They have the little ones. And they come in all different shapes and sizes and characters. Kids love them. I have, like, here's some little dog faces. And I have cat faces, and I have fairies and fish and bugs and all kind of fun stuff. So those are things that you can also add. I've done little spider rings. I've done lots of different things for kids. If you do the buttons, make sure you're supervising. Make sure that nobody eats the buttons or eats any of the soap. We want to make sure of that. So tonight we're going to do, get this out of here, guys, and then I'll make some room on my table. 1 second here. So you can mix your bases if you want. You can mix some of the clear with to stretch your soap if you need to. We don't need to, we have more than enough. So we don't have to do both. I'm going to set these over here. Now, when you were looking at my other soaps, we looked at the herbs and flowers that were in there. You can buy bulk flowers and herbs online most of the time. Amazon has them. So look and see what you want and see what, I just usually see what I can get. I always go for organic, all natural. You can get them in a full form. This is the chamomile. Yeah, this is the chamomile, and it gets real powdery. So as the flowers break down, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can still use those. That can just get stirred in. Obviously, I make a lot of rose soap because everybody loves rose. This is what's left of my rose. So I'll be ordering that. This is the rose buds and the rose petals. And these are my dried orange peels. And you can do these yourself. You can dry citrus rinds and grate them. Depends on how much you want to get into it. These are my lavender buds. More lavender buds. Calendula, however you guys want to say it. And then I have little tiny baby heather flowers. And the soaps I pre-made tonight are in the fridge, and those I made, some of those I made with hibiscus, which I don't have anymore. I used the last bit of it. Now, coloring for the soap, you can use mica colors, and then these are all vegetable mica colors. These are made from dried vegetables, and I get these off Amazon primarily. They are ground down into a fine powder. You can see what they look like, and then you'll be able to color your soaps with these. They're cosmetic grade. They don't leave a residue. They don't turn you blue if you use the blue, which I'm almost out of. They won't turn you green or yellow or orange. So, and the best part about working with the melt and pour soap is that you can experiment. If you really hate something and the color came out yucky, then harden it and then cut it up into chunks and then add it to some other base so that you can dilute the color down and add more of another color. You can start over at pretty much any time. So that's what I use for color, and I use, depending on what kind of color I want. Those always give you a softer color. These are the, I'm almost positive they're Wilton. So they're the Wilton Squeeze gel colors. And these are food grade. So, and these again do not leave residue on you. I was using red soap, making red soaps today. So I don't have any red on me at all. So you just squeeze these out. These are gel. I'm going to show you both so that you get an idea of what we're doing with it. So I'm going to put those there. I'm going to move these out of the way. And then You don't have to, if you have a microwave, by all means, use your microwave. If you don't have a microwave, then you can use your stovetop. That's up to you. I use my microwave. I love using my microwave. It's so much easier to just melt everything right in the microwave in a glass bowl or a big measuring cup, which I'm going to rinse my measuring cup out right now from the borax and stuff. And good things to have are cake boards. If you're not familiar with what cake boards are, they are these big cardboard things that they put cake on. They're long, rectangular shaped. I have one over here. I have some over here. These are the Wilton cake boards, and if I'm not mistaken, I got these at Goodwill. So there was a package of them. So and these fit great in your refrigerator to put them in to keep your mold steady. And molding your soap, I've learned over the years that I prefer silicone molds. They come a million different kinds, a million different styles, and I just never enjoyed the hard plastic molds. They're very hard to remove your soaps from. You can put some extra oil in them, but then melt and pour soaps tend to be oily anyway. Those oils tend to kind of come up to the surface very fast. They melt very easily. And so the longer that you have them out a little bit, they dry a little better. So you can cure your melt and pour soaps, but not like the ones that you're going to create with lye, and that's a whole other process. So we're going to take, I'm going to show you my molds, but we're going to take this shea butter. And we're going to cut it. This is a soap cutter. They come wiggly like this with this wavy, or they come straight. I've seen some that look like the thing they killed the guys with in The Godfather. They have like a metal piece of wire across, and it's on a bar. You can use this. I also have a knife that I got that has a weird little wiggly edge on it, and if I was cutting these into blocks, it will give a little bit of a different edge on it. So we're gonna cut this up. That's why I did the laundry soap first, because this is so time consuming, but I wanted you to see the process of it. So we're gonna cut these, and it's going to look like a lot inside this measuring cup, but it's actually going to melt down to probably a quarter of what is in the glass measuring cup. Always use glass. Don't use plastic. The plastic leaches into your soap, and sometimes it'll change the consistency, it'll change the colors. And sorry if you guys can't hear me. I know I'm losing my voice a little bit. I was in Las Vegas for Super Zoo, which I had a great time, but obviously I talked way too much, so my voice is going a little bit. So I'm just chopping these haphazardly. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We're gonna fill this up. And I know you all love my Shopkins and my My Little Pony placemats, but these are awesome because they just wash off so easily, and I don't get soap stuck in the wood of my butcher block. And they're simple, and they're colorful, and they make me happy. So I like to have colorful things around me, if you haven't already noticed. So these are getting chopped. And once you start to do this, you'll start to know how much to cut for whatever mold you're gonna use, because you might make too much and then you're like, oh no. Well, the good thing about that is that if you just keep a few silicone loaf pans, just pour it in the loaf pan and then wrap it in plastic wrap, so that way you can cut it up again next time. and and use it again. It's just because it melted once doesn't mean it's not any good anymore. Just make sure you label it so you know what's in it, or if you remember what you used in your soaps. Most of mine I store in a glass container or a Ziploc bag, and I have my soaps individually wrapped in plastic wrap, and then I'll either label the container or I'll label each individual soap. Unless you have a mind like a steel trap and you can remember whatever you used in them. I'm lucky if I remember my name half the time. So, all right, so this is all going in here. It's a big piece. We'll break it in half and just fill it up. So I'm gonna put these here so you can kind of see. All right, there we go. Move all this out of the way. And I always have a ton of towels, and my hands are really tacky, sticky, like if you were handling soap, because you are, it is soap. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in my microwave for about 2 minutes on high. And then we're going to stir it after it goes off. Now, one of the things we're going to need to do is boost the power of the soap for moisturizing. Now that's shea butter, so that's pretty moisturizing in itself. But I like to add more. Can you tell that I'm always extra. I always like extra. So I prefer to use sweet almond oil. It has a really nice fragrance too. Just naturally it has a little bit of a sweet fragrance. And then I always love avocado oil. There's also this, which I have to credit my daughter Rita, because I've been stealing and using this, which is her Lavender Jamaica Black Castor Oil. So I've been putting a little of this in my products as well, and I'm loving this stuff. So this is pretty amazing. And again, this is the Black Castor Oil, which castor oil is a great skin oil. So you can add that to it. We have to pick our color, and we have to pick what we're using. And I think I want to make like a citrusy kind of soap, something to kind of wake us up. So let's see, what do I have? Oh gee, let me put my glasses on again. How about tangerine? Have a tangerine, lime, and what else can we put in here that's going to be a really nice, we'll do, tea tree. Oh, it's time for us to stir. I thought I had, no. Well, maybe I do. Oh, I do. Ginger. Like, I thought I had another ginger. Okay, so we're going to do tangerine, lime, and ginger. So that's ready to stir. So I get out my super expensive, drop my spoons, and get out my super expensive soap stirring tools, and you can see what these are. They're from my takeout Chinese, and I save these all the time. So here are my important stirrers that I use. They are chopsticks, but they work great, and they're disposable. You just throw them away if you get Chinese food like we do. I'm going to take this out, and you can see it's about halfway stirred. So my tray wants to move. Really. Okay. So I'm going to just take my thing and just kind of push it down a little bit and make some air holes in there and mush it in. See how the liquid is kind of cut. Can you get close, John? The liquid's kind of coming up from the bottom. I'm just kind of chunking this down in here. And then I'm going to clean this off a little. And then, I told you I have towels everywhere. Just lay your little chopstick on the towel. And we'll do another 2 minutes. And while that's going, now that we have all that, we have to decide what we're going to use for a mold. So I have quite a few molds. Surprise! So let's look and see what I have here. Some of my molds are already in the refrigerator with soap in them, cooling, molding. These are the round, and they have little flowers. Can you come close? So you see and this is what the outside. So that's what the soap is going to look like, and then the bottom is going to be flat. And I actually have these right here. And these are a lavender blend. Oh, they smell so good. Most of mine are a blend of oils that I create. This is a goat's milk bottom with the glycerin top. This also has a little coffee, yeah, vanilla in it. Yeah, smells so good. So that's what they would look like. If you put these in here, this one is this one. Yeah, this one. So see, it would feel like this, sitting there. And then when you pop it out, and when you get fancy, you can do 2 layers. And when you're doing floats, like those little ones I showed you, that were shaped like the little dogs, the little pieces, I have molds that are very thin and fine. See, they're not real thick, and they're real fine, and that's what I use for my floats, to create the little pieces that I put inside my soaps. I have little shapes, and you just pour that one thin layer on there and then pop them out. I have waffle shape, another waffle one. So that's what those are. So let's look at our soap again. And it's starting to look like milk. But it's still hard in there. See our big clump down there in the bottom? So we got to make holes in it again. Kind of break it up. Because the microwave works different than the stove, the heat isn't always evenly distributed. So by doing this, you're pushing the heat in the soap to kind of together to make it melt better. So we're just kind of breaking this down in here until you can feel that you don't have one big giant gob. And there's a calendula leaf in here, so we got one little flower leaf in there from the package. All right, so we're poking this. Get your frustrations out. All right, so it should look like the milk consistency. So we're gonna put it back in. We're gonna do 2 minutes. Let that melt again, and then we're gonna come back and decide what we're gonna use. Now this is a actual soap loaf pan. And it's the box, the wooden box. You can see I'm messy. So this is a wooden box. These are the silicone pieces that fit inside. So I have 2, but I only have 1 wooden box because I broke the other one when we were moving. So I need to order a new one. And you can get these off of eBay, off of Amazon. Bulk Apothecary has them. So that's those. These are silicone loaf pans. So when you take the soap out, it's going to be smaller on the top and longer at the bottom, like a loaf. So you can use these, are great, and these are not for soap. These are actually for baking. A little bit of oil rubbed into a ice cube tray. works fantastic as well, and you get cube shaped. I'll show you my sugar cubes, which I created when my daughters moved to New York City, and they didn't have a large shower to store a whole bunch of stuff, and they lived with quite a few friends. So I created these little sugar cubes. These I made in a loaf form and then cut the cubes so I could have all different sizes. And these I actually made in that ice cube tray and then cut the cubes in half. These are designed to have sugar on them for exfoliation and to melt away quickly in your hands and not leave a residue all over, like if you were going to use a scrub and open the jar and have to reach through the oils and scrub it all over. These, you just grab that little soap, get it wet, squash it in your hands and rub it all over you, and the sugar does the job to take away all that dry skin. And it also polishes and hydrates your skin. And then those are made on a base of shea butter. So let's check this again. I'm going to look here. And we're melted. No more big lumps in here, nothing. So we are good to go. We're going to take this over here. And I'm going to take that. Thank you. My assistant. Let me move that back over there. Oh, okay. You can kind of zoom in on that soap real quick. Okay, so we have that. And then we're going to okay, so here are my orange rind, and it's just some dried orange rind. So you're going to take this, now you could take it and put it directly into your soap if you want. The amount is completely up to you. I'm going to kind of mix it in. And then you're going to pick what essential oils. I have lime. 1, 2, 3, 4 drops of lime. 1, 2, 3, 4 drops of tangerine. 1, 2, 3, 4 drops of ginger. Now we're going to stir that into the soap. Oh my gosh, it already smells divine. We're going to add a little avocado. And where's my little? So we'll use a teaspoonful of avocado oil. How's that? I am the worst scientist known to man and women. I am never exact, I never follow directions, and I just do it the way I think it should be done. So if you ever see me doing this and you go, well, that was a little more than 4 drops, or that was a little more than whatever I was measuring, yeah, because that's just me. Like I said, I'm extra. So we're going to take the black castor as well, and since this isn't mine and I've stolen it from Rita, I'm being nice and not using a whole lot of it because I've already been stealing it from her and using it in other things. So now we can stir that in. Now you're perfectly fine to use this color. It is the color that it is with white soap. So it looks beautiful. It's nice. You can see the little granules in there if you want. If not, we can add color to it. We can take a, let's see, I thought I had, there you go. So you can take, this is the yellow, and this is the gel. So you're going to just, maybe not, maybe I have to take the little thing off because oh, there it is. So I'm gonna just give it a squeeze. 3 drops. And like I said, play with it. See what color you get, see what color you want. We're gonna mix this in. You can use a whisk if you want. I prefer to use this because I just throw it away. So it's giving me a nice yellow color. And you know, I think with all that citrus and the ginger in there, and it's very zippy and really just lively, so yellow does well with that. So now we're going to take it and we're going to pour it into our mold. Now because this is sturdy, I don't need to have anything underneath it that's wobbly, because it's wobbly. If this was alone, I would need to have one of the cake boards under it or something. So I'm going to pour this right in to the mold. And then we're going to take this one carefully, which I'm not careful. If you look at my floor, I have soap drops all over the place. So I'm going to put this. Now I could have filled this all the way, but obviously this is not going to be done tonight, this one. So I left it halfway and only made enough to half fill that, because I'll make a layered soap and I may add something to that. And you can do that. You can do half loaves like that and then let them harden, and then once they harden, you can add whatever else you want to add, floats and other things to it. So good thing it's soap, because this is going to wash away really quickly. And you're going to see, can you come in close at all, babe? You're going to see it's going to foam up. So it's going to wash really nice. And this soap is for anything. You can use this to wash your dishes. You can use this to wash your body. You can use this to wash your dog. This is for everything and anything. You can slice it and throw it into your laundry if you want. Totally up to you. So I'm going to clean this for our second one. Quickly. Not. Okay, so I have that. And now we're going to do one more, but we'll do a fancy mold. So now adding things like herbs and sugar, you can use for sugar scrubs. You can use, don't we have turmeric?
Yeah, we do.
Is it powdered?
Yeah, it's up on your cabinet.
Okay. You can use lots and lots and lots of different things. Let me see.
It's up where the protein powder is.
Let's see.
Silver package.
All right. Oh, that's the milk thistle. There's the turmeric. Okay. So we're going to use turmeric. Now we don't have to put a color in because we're using the turmeric. And you can add clay, you can add mud, you can add pretty much anything you want that you think would be soothing for soap. We're going to do a clear base. So we'll get some of the clear base. Okay. Put this in. I know. It's like watching paint dry, watching me chop soap. But I wanted you to see the process because this is not a quick thing. It's way quicker than doing regular soap making with lye. Way less dangerous as well. You don't have to wear gloves and glasses, and you don't have to let it cure for 4 weeks. Some soaps even have to cure longer than that. You have to wrap in towels, and it's just a very arduous project to take on. If you enjoy it, which I do, it's very fulfilling, and I have done it the other way, and it makes some amazing soaps. But this is the best for DIY, and these make great gifts. I give these out all the time. If you look at my feed, as soon as I said soaps, everybody was like, if you're friends with me on Facebook, everybody's like, are they the soaps that you have in your bathroom? Are they the soaps you gave me? Because I always have them. I keep a supply of them in my bathroom, my hall bathroom, my guest bathroom, so that people can just use them at will. My daughter's friends seem to think that they're there for them to take home at will, which is fine. I always make them anyway. But it makes me laugh because I go in there and I have several baskets full, and they're usually empty after they have company over. So, and I know they're not all washing their hands with them every time they come over the house. But they're free. Take one. That's why I make them. They're for me to share. They're a little bit of my love to you, and I'm hoping that you guys really enjoy this. So we're gonna chop a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to pull out the ones that we have made while we're letting this melt, and then we'll add the turmeric to it. Alright, get in there. Alright, so we're going to put this on for 3 minutes.
Why not 2 like the other soap?
Well, because this is thicker and heavier, so it doesn't melt as quickly.
Okay.
So now I'm going to pull this aside, take this over here, and I'm going to get out some of the ones so they could see. So there we go. You can move those over there. Move my ducks. Get my ducks in a row. Alright, so these are some of my melt and pours. Now I'm going to show you some of the things that are like, these are all under there. So these are the floats. These have those little buttons in them. So can you see that side? You can see the little button in there. So kids love these. So as soon as they get washing their hands, they want to get down to that. They want to get that out of there. There's a little dragon in there. I don't know if you can see them way down in there. And they see how easy they pop out? I mean, it couldn't be any easier for these to just come right out. This is Doc McStuffins in here. There she is.
How long did they have to sit before they're ready to use?
I put them in, I guess it was about 6:30. So I'm going to pop these out. And it's up to you. Now you're going to have overflow like this. So you can just take a little tool or a knife and just kind of just widget it right off there. These fantastic little things, I don't know what the heck they're really for, but I found them at Goodwill the other day in a bag of all kinds of spoons and stuff. And I was like, yeah, they're good soap shavers. So I don't know. Might be a cheese thing. Who knows? My sister does food. She may know what this thing is. But it looked like a good soap tool to me, so I got it. So you can see how easy this is. You know, you're just going to take this and just going to shave your edges. And it'll come right off. Now, I prefer to take these and let them cure for a couple days. Sit them out on one of these cake trays and let them sit and dry and just leave them out because they are very oily. You know, they're very soapy. They have a soapy feeling to them. So that's those. And then I'll show you. This is a candy mold. So again, these are great. You can see that little. And if you take your fingers, you can kind of wiggle it around. But these are great for just washing your face real fast, to have small soaps. And that's why I love the candy molds. There's another one. And that's what's basically in this mold, are the two sizes. These little rectangles. And these are fantastic for shaving your legs, ladies. Because you just get them and you rub them on your legs and they lather up. And you're not having to use an entire bar of soap. These are great to keep in just little glass jars or plastic jars. So, and again, same thing, I'd let these sit and cure. I'm going to show you, here's a fancy. Now this has the hibiscus flower. You can see the hibiscus flowers in there. And then this mold, I'll show you what the mold looks like first. And then there's the soap. Can you see where it says Life? So it gives a fancy. Oh, these have geranium and some other stuff in it. Okay, these are another fancies. Now this one is a fun. Can you see the colors in there? From that side, all these are sugar balls, and I'll show you those in a second. So these have different shapes. There's a rose. And I got this, I think, for $4 off of Amazon. These different shapes. And all these little shavies that come off the edges from where I save them. I don't throw anything away. I'm a hoarder. I'll save the soap pieces and I'll put them in that bag that I have with the other stuff, and I'll remix them in and use them to stretch soap if I just don't have quite enough. So that's what these look like. This, I'm going to show you right now, are these right here. So they're the little sugar confection pearls. They will dissolve as they get wet. As the soap breaks down, so will these. They're not going to make you sticky. It washes off, it goes away. Some of the things you can add to your soap are, to make it more beautiful, are these balls, are the sugar, and it comes in colors. So right before that soap is cured and molded in the refrigerator, you can sprinkle with the sugars. Here are the pearls. These look great on with coffee, which is something that you can use also. All these little sugar, different ones, they will dissolve. You can put these inside the soap. These are for the kids, and these are all different little sugar shapes. So then I have a cupcake one, because another class, I'll show you how to make the topping, but this would be the bottom, which would be the soap, and you would break off the top and it'll be a bath bomb, and that's a whole nother show for bath bombs. But these are little silicone cups that I have, and you can make them look like Reese's cups, you can make them look like almost any, cupcake, anything. But so that's what those are. Now we need to just kind of scooch these out of the way for a second so that I can get to, sorry, my workspace is limited. When I'm rich and famous, then I'll get an actual lab. But for right now, this has to double as my laboratory. So I'm going to save those because I want them. So, and then your molds just wash so easily. So we're going to pick something for that, which I think we're going to do this one. Totally melted. Well, almost. Not quite. So, oh yeah, we still got a ball in there. So, we get that melted down. You don't ever want to add all your ingredients and then melt, You don't want to put the oils on when it's not completely melted, because it's just going to, you see that big hunk in there? It's just going to goop up in there. It needs to be where everything is completely melted down, and then you're adding those things into the melted soaps. Let me give that a minute or so, and then it should be good. So we're going to use this one, and we're going to use the mica coloring this time. So let's get some, do purple. Then we can add some lavender to it as well. And of course, I don't want to put lavender. Well, you can if you want to, but I have so many lavender soaps already. I think I'm going to use let's see. I think I thought I had another pair of geranium, ylang-ylang, and drop a cedar wood in there. All right, so now I know this is finished. Yep. Okay. Take this out. Make sure our big ball of soap is completely dissolved, and it is. So there's that. I'm going to put a little avocado. I am going to, you should put your color in before you put your herbs and everything else in, because you want that color to be able to mix and not get clumped up on everything else. So now I'm going to mix the color. This is the powder color, so if you want to come in a little closer, babe, that's good. So this is the mica. Or actually, it's not mica. It's just the dried ground color. So this, see how it kind of gets like that? So you have to kind of mix it in. This takes a little longer to mix your color. And you're going to get those little balls in there, and then if you have a whisk, I kind of like them in there. They kind of look like little floaties in my soaps. So, alright. That's giving us a nice like lilac color. So now I'm going to add my lavender buds. Nemo seems to think that we're under attack right now. It must be the soap bandits. So I'm going to add the lavender buds. And you can use a whisk if you want. I mean, it's up to you. And you can do some really cool things if you use a handheld mixer and whip this up. You can get some different consistencies. So, all right, so that's that. And we're going to use our oils. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What oil was that?
This is ylang-ylang. Then this is geranium. And then this, and that was 4 of geranium also. And then 1, 2 of cedarwood. So that's a floral with a little tiny bit of woodsy scent in it. And once these buds, as soon as you put the buds in, if you get good dried herbs and flowers, once they hit that melted, heated soap, you're going to be able to smell it. And this, I can smell the lavender in this, even though we didn't put any essential oil, lavender essential oil in it. So now we're going to take this and we're going to pour this in here. Alright. And then this will just get washed. And then I will take my other board
Need a hand?
I'm gonna need the fridge opened.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this, open the other side, please.
Okay.
Thank you. So this is gonna go in here to cure. Put that in there. Let's take this one out. All right, thought I almost lost it. So these are a couple of other molds that I made earlier tonight. So these are shapes. This is actually a little dog. I don't know if you can see him. And then this one is actually a little Cocker Spaniel. And then this one and you can see the inside of the mold. I think it says Life is Good. Now these molds are a little more expensive because they are handmade to make characters. So this is actually a little, like a little terrier. And then this is the Cocker Spaniel. And if I were to use the milk soap, it would be easier to see what it is, but I'm gonna remelt these down anyway, so. So I'm gonna, and these again will wash right up. Here's some larger ones. This one is a Sharpay, and this one is a lady with like kind of, or this is a Sharpay, and I think this is the lady that's kind of turning to the side. So, and I got these off of Amazon also, and they actually came from, I think, the Ukraine. There's a lady that fashions them out of silicone, which is an art unto itself. So this is my rose soap, and it is the shea butter, and this is a beautiful mold. And I put up some pictures earlier of the actual making of this. So I'm gonna pop it out. Here we go. So you can see that. Those are all the rose petals in there. And it does have some rose oil in there and some other oils. And then I will show you how to cut this. So this is the rose mold. See how it's all the rose buds? And we would, it's a little rosebud right there. Just take your cutter. And if you think that this is too thin, you can do another and make another one on top of this one, or cut your pieces and put chunks in. There's so many different things you can do. So who wants a piece of rose? If you write in the group that you want a piece of the rose, I'll send you a piece of the rose. I think the first however many slices I get is how many people can get one. So let's see what we got here. And it's not an exact science, again, for me, because I am not exact about anything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, an uneven number. Oh, I won't sleep tonight because of that. So that's our rose soap. And peel off these yucky edges. And there you go, you got a piece of rose soap. Now, quickly, easily, any one of the Castile soaps that I showed you earlier, you can use a little squeeze bottle, put your Castile soap in. This one already has peppermint, I think, and yeah, peppermint. It's a hemp peppermint. You can pour this into here, add your own essential oils, and that's it. That is a shampoo. That is an everything. You can use that as well for your laundry detergent. Completely up to you. Oh, and I forgot to put the turmeric in that soap. See what's wrong when you get old and you get tired. Sorry guys, you could have put the turmeric in instead of the purple color. I grabbed the purple color because I forgot I have the turmeric. But the turmeric would have made it turmeric colored. So that is it. I won't keep you guys any longer. Sorry for starting late, and I do have more classes coming up, so stay tuned on my Facebook page and also on my theoilygroomer.com. I list them pretty much every Saturday night at 8 p.m. is my DIY class. And if you're interested in a kit from Young Living for your oils, your diffuser, lots of great products, lots of great DIY projects that you can make from that one kit, let me know. To those that were playing along with the giveaways that I had, I will be checking all that tonight after class, and I will be requesting addresses for those that won the bags, the soaps, and all the other things I was giving away. Have a great night, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye.